Hello everybody, it's just Hali today. I'm so excited to be here. As you guys know, Ladan and I wanted to do solo episodes so that you guys can get to know each other or get to know us individually. And so today's my turn. I am actually currently in Berkeley. I was speaking at UC Berkeley yesterday and I'm headed out back to Chicago. I actually filmed this twice, believe it or not. The first time I filmed on my camera and I realized it was in slow motion, which is so awesome. So I said, screw you, buddy, and now I'm using my phone. Honestly, quality is really great. This is an older phone. So anyway, bear with me as I do this again. But I thought I would just start off by introducing myself, and then I actually just have a couple questions that I'm gonna answer as well, just so that I can make sure that I'm, actually going in a structured way. I can yap and I can divert a lot. So we're just gonna bring myself back a couple times. Thank you so much. So let's start off. Who am I? Who is Hali Jama? Well, I never know how to introduce myself outside of like a work setting, which is something that I'm working on because I have only ever done pitches of myself in terms of like the first thing I say is, oh, I'm currently a student at University of Wisconsin-Madison, or I would say I'm currently a data analyst doing X, Y, and Z. And I really want to find and ground my identity outside of what I do for work. So I'm going to try that today because how kind of sad is it that we always introduce ourselves based off of our field of work or a line of work. But anyway, I'm going to try that again. So my name is Hali. I am a Somali American woman. My heritage means a lot to me, and it's a place that I hope to go back to and actually do, I guess, a bit of education work there, especially for young women. I grew up as a nomad and a farmer, and that meant no education outside of Islamic education. So just literally reading the Quran was all I was able to do up until I was 7 years old when we immigrated to the US. And women's education is just something that's really important to me. I've researched it. I've also studied economics with a hyper focus on developmental economics, which focuses on underdeveloped countries' economies, like their past, their stories, and all of this stuff. And time again, the way that economic downfall works is obviously war is like a big part, but a really big part that's honestly ignored a lot is education or the lack thereof. And I also especially think that young women's education is totally, especially in the African region, but all over the world, even in America, women's education is just not taken nearly as serious. And back home, for my families that lived in the city, if they can only afford to send one child home, it doesn't matter if there was 3 older girls, they would send the boy home. It doesn't even matter if he was just born, they would save up so that they can send him to school, not home. And so it's something that I'm really passionate about, and inshallah, my goal is to do that within my next 5 years. That's also brings me back to what I currently do. I am a content creator, but I focus on career and college. I obviously immigrated to the US as a first-gen individual, went to university, was the first ever in my entire family to go to university, and navigating that process was extremely lonely and exhausting. And also now it's been rewarding because once I learned how everything worked, the immediate thing that I did was mentor other students that were on campus. And then after that, I decided to post a video because I was like, if it's helping so many students here on campus, I can't imagine the reach that I could have, especially because I went and struggled for 2 whole years trying to figure out, like internships and like networking and all of these things that were just so difficult that nobody ever tells you about. So as soon as I learned, I posted a video and the video got 1 million views. And from there, I continued to create content literally just from the comments. So can you show us your resume, your cover letter, your et cetera, et cetera. And I just continued on from there. And since then, I've built a platform or multiple platforms with over 300,000 supporters and people that find my content to be helpful, inspiring, or some even entertaining for some. And that's just been my greatest joy. It's nothing like I've ever imagined. I only started this when I was a junior in college and I graduated this May. So it's been not even 2 years, and it's really truly been an incredible journey. And I'm so blessed and lucky to be able to do something like this and even be at Berkeley today speaking to these students and hearing them in person. Like I literally, every time somebody tells me that, I just like try not to cry. Oh, there's a school bus driving past right now. But anyway, literally thinking about it, I'm like, ugh. I'm just like, it's crazy. But really what I put out is what I wish somebody told me. What I put out is what I prayed somebody put out when I was in college and just like a freshman, sophomore. And you know, not everyone has the privilege. Majority of the people in this world do not have the privilege of having parents that can guide them, especially when it comes to their career. And honestly, even people who do have the parents that went the route that they're trying to go, the job market in the world is changing so fast that it's hard to even feel connected to the way that parents that were born in the 60s went through the job market, and you know, our 40-50-year-old parents went through the job market. So although I have a demographic in mind when I post the content that I do, and that's really POC, first gen individuals, I always get really happy that I'm able to support even people that aren't first gen or even fifth gen, that have parents and grandparents and great parents that have college education and work experience, but they just we're just in a completely different world now. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about my passion and my love for what I'm currently doing. And obviously Empower is a big part of that. Ladan and I connected through just, well, the fact that we're both Somali. I told you guys my heritage means so much to me. And whenever I see a Somali woman just thriving and killing it, I immediately have to interact. I immediately have to tell them how proud I am. I immediately have to like just support them in any way that I can, whether that's just following along their journey, liking, commenting, whatever it is. So Ladan was no different. She was a woman that came on my For You page, and I was just so impressed by her work ethic. I was so impressed by the way she gives back to the community and the way that she constantly shares advice, very similar to mine, but more for a different demographic. And I just literally messaged her and I was like, you're killing it, you're amazing, Allah Mubarak, like continue doing it. And she was like, dude, same to you, like you remind me of like my younger self. And I was just like, oh my God, like what, really? Okay. But from there we just stayed connected. And December of 2024 December, I at that point was doing mentorship, one-on-one mentorship, where people can sign up. I called it success sessions, and it was super fun, but it was getting, as my platform was growing, it was getting to be a bit too much. So I had a choice. I was like, okay, I could see this as a problem and shut it down and just leave it, or I could see this as an opportunity for growth and for me to reach more people. And obviously I chose the latter. So I did shut it down, but temporarily, and I started building something along the lines of what is now Empower. But like Ladan and I both had this idea of Empower, and it's funny because like now it's something completely different of what we started even a year ago when we started building it. But I essentially posted a video and I was like, hey guys, I've been doing mentorship for a while, and honestly, I'm constantly like getting one-on-one mentors, and I absolutely love it. But I hope to create some type of community where you guys can also mentor each other, or like something along those lines. And at the time I was thinking about it as a program, because I was a part of like SEO and ARF and all these great programs that just weren't doing something that I really was hoping for. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it myself then. And I posted that video and she messaged me from it. And then since then she was like, hey, I'm thinking of something similar. Like maybe we can like work together. And I was focusing on like college students and post-grad, and she was focusing on like mid-level professionals and higher. And so it worked out amazingly, and we had a call and we literally were having the same idea, except just simply different demographics. So at the time we had agreed that like I would bring in that expertise of like being a university student and kind of going into my senior year, while she would bring that professional experience of like literally just being a freaking icon, like graduating with her bachelor's, getting her MBA, now her PhD, being a professor, working in all of these different amazing companies, that just like the experiences that she's had, especially as a mid-level professional. So we started to build Empower, and we started building our app a couple months ago, I would say maybe 8 months ago, and we completely started over our app in September, which is crazy to think about. But the original app that we created was just not really what we were envisioning, and it felt like we were just kind of doing it, you know, the lost cause fallacy, where it's like, oh, well, we have to continue. We've already built so much. We've already spent so much time. And alhamdulillah, we just decided to just like rip the Band-Aid and start from scratch. And now we're starting to test our app. So it's been such a journey. It's been a crazy journey, but it's been so exciting. Obviously, we also started our society, which is it's a group mentorship like program, a professional development program is how I describe it. Excuse me guys, I literally had a soda, so don't mind me. But so you guys know I'm like burpy and stuff, but there's also people right outside my window, so don't mind me if I'm also not looking directly at you. But yeah, we started this professional development program called Our Society, where we meet with a very small group of people actually, but you guys could actually still sign up. We have different cohorts, and 1 week we have lessons where we teach everybody like about a specific lesson. So let's say like how to apply to jobs, and we're literally an hour of us just teaching, showing like homework, giving examples, doing a case study with one of our members, and we're all resolving each other's problems and also connecting and finding mentorship amongst each other, because it's all different ages and different work and everything like that. It's super interesting. And then the other week we have a guest speaker come and speak. So Ladan was the guest speaker previously. I am the next one this upcoming Saturday. And then the next one is going to be like different professionals, but we just wanted to start off so that people have the chance to get to know us within the program as well. And that's kind of been our journey with not with our society, but well, our society, but also Empower as a whole. It has been such a journey. It's been amazing. And it's like, there's just so much growth and change coming for us. And we're really excited to share that with you guys as well, and continue obviously this podcast, which is also a new venture that we've been doing. We've really just, what I like about our team and our work dynamic is like, we really just throw ourselves at something once we see an opportunity or like something cool that we want to do, and we're just like, let's do it. And I absolutely love that. But that's a little bit background there. In terms of like who I am and my interests, I love working out. I love trying new food, traveling. Like, I'm a huge culture person. I think there's so much beauty in the differences of humanity, and I think God blessed us with that so that we can get to know each other in this new and fun way. Obviously there's unfortunate parts of that where there's like oppression and all that, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. But yeah, I think it's beautiful, and I just love it. I just love meeting people from different cultures. I love learning new languages. I love trying new food, and I just love to put myself out there. I'm a true extrovert at heart. I love being around people. I love community. So I am someone that just throws themselves at things and just tries it. That's one of the ways that I've gotten into different professions as well. I model, and that was just me throwing myself into it and seeing. I also do contract work as a marketer. That was also me throwing I literally messaged the CEO and she ended up hiring me. Obviously I do Empower, and then my main full-time job is content creation, which I'm so blessed to be able to do. It's actually crazy. But yeah, I left corporate in October. I was a data analyst, and I graduated in May, and that's kind of been my journey since then. We're kind of working backwards in the way that I'm telling you guys, but that's really, really, truly been my journey. My favorite color is green, but I love all colors. I love every color. I just love color. And it's, I don't know. I also heard that it was the Prophet's, peace be upon him, his favorite color. So, twin. Okay, we're not gonna sing a song now. But anyway, let's get into the questionnaire section. So, number one, well, I've already shared who I am and everything like that. Number two is, what were the moments in my life that changed the way I think about careers and opportunity? And I would say the first thing was definitely good at going to university, and always kind of having this tunnel vision where I saw university as the end result. And I fully convinced myself that if I get to uni, I'm good. Like, jobs will literally throw themselves at me, because I am someone who's a big planner. So freshman year when I got to high school, I started planning for college, and I got a full scholarship ride by sophomore year of university. So at 16, I was set with a full scholarship ride. Like, all praise to God. I was literally just like waiting and, you know, obviously continuing to do my work. And I had to get like really great test scores in my ACT and SAT and stuff like that. But I made sure that like I was good ahead of time, and I was learning about these things. And obviously I would look around me, and we were living in Section 8 housing, like just kind of struggling. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to, you know, pay for university, and it seems like this expensive thing. Like, what can I do to problem solve? So thankfully I'm a very resourceful person. But I would say in terms of the way that I think about careers and opportunity, I didn't realize just how much of careers and gaining opportunities is through just another human's connection. And when you think about it, we really are the ones giving ourselves these opportunities. Like when you need a job, the person on the other end interviewing you and giving you that job is another human. When, like, it doesn't matter what aspect of life you're thinking about, it's connectivity and other human connection that really helps you. And the more people you know, the more people you have genuine relationships with, the better it is for you. So that's when like mentorship and sponsorship really takes in effect as well. But also, I didn't know that your parents can serve such a big role in your career. And I saw that through all the girls and boys that went to my university. I was actually in Greek life. I was in a white sorority. I just did it for the plot, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't regret it because I learned so much. But that's when I learned about the way that they just all connect each other, and the way that they plug each other, and the way that their parents are so connected, and they'll literally have summer internships because their mom knows this guy who works here and who works there. And obviously I didn't have the privilege of that. I have a mom who takes care of my disabled little brother full time, and I have a dad who's a school bus driver. Like, I was not gonna get a whole lot of connections, especially the way that these kids were. So excuse me. So anyway, I created those connections for myself, and that was a really pivotal time where the way that I was thinking about career completely changed. Next question, what lessons have I learned from building Empower so far? I think the first biggest lesson is honestly to just start. Like, starting something before you feel ready, you're never gonna feel ready. I still don't feel ready. Like, every day I don't feel ready, but especially as first gen businesswoman, neither of us has ever started a business before. Like, this is our first time doing all of this, and a big part of that is just putting yourself out there and just seeing literally what sticks. And that has really created this level of perseverance. I mean, we've been doing this for a year, and like, have we gotten like any reward? Not really, but our reward is really and truly just like touching people's lives and making sure that we're making a difference within people's lives. And we have been able to do that, whether that's like through our social media, but sometimes you're never just gonna feel ready, but you have to do something. So we're continuing to learn, and that's like one of the biggest things that I learned. And then I would say balancing everything is a big lesson too. Just figuring out how to balance life, how to balance entrepreneurship, especially when you're not like receiving anything from it. When I was working a full-time job, I still had to figure out how to balance it with Empower. When I quit my full-time job and I'm now doing entrepreneurship on a whole nother level, like I have like 5 roles even. And that's a whole other thing to balance. So balance and time management has been a big part of that as well. What do I want Empower to become, and why does that vision matter to me? This is such a great question. Shout out to me. I ate with that one. I think the long-term vision for the platform, well, it depends what long-term is, because that could be 5 years, that could be 20 years. But my goal is to I'm gonna stick beside him. Like, I'm gonna stick beside Empower forever. It's something that's so special to me and so important to me. And it's something that we've both been like working towards something similar to Empower. We just so happened to find each other and got so lucky within that process. But I really, 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 really want to move back home in the next 5 to 10 years and start building an education system back home in East Africa, but especially in the Somali region. And my biggest goal is to work in women's education and help young women and adopt a bunch of Somali kids that need homes. But I really, really am passionate about women's education, and that's my long-term goal with Empower, is to utilize it as something that I can create change and momentum outside of the US, because I understand how difficult it is being first gen and living in America, but imagine and triple and quadruple it and think about, people back home in underdeveloped countries where especially women's education is not taken seriously, if it even exists. So that's a really big long-term, huge long-term goal overall for Empower for me, and how I want to continue it and its legacy. Both Ladan and I are just super committed to the mission and the vision of what we're creating, and we really want to make a big impact with it. But outside of that, my current short-term-ish goals are to get a bunch of universities to be on our platform and to utilize it and really work with alumnihood. So getting alumni to connect with current students and finding mentorship through that, getting companies, and this is more of that B2B section, but getting companies to also connect to their employees, especially thinking of companies like Google, like they're huge companies, and a lot of these students coming in as interns or like early career professionals can really utilize connecting with their peers, their teams, and it's just a really great way to create transparency, but also for people to connect in a way that's data driven and that makes sense. So I should be getting connected as a data analyst that just graduated to someone who's a mid-level professional or has 2 to 3 years under their belt as a data analyst, while simultaneously getting matched to a university student who wants to be where I am in 2 years. So maybe they're a junior. And that's the whole point of our app, is like you always give as you take. And that's really the momentum that we want to create within that mentorship section. But I think it's really just creating that mentorship ecosystem that's really, really, really the ultimate goal. And I think helping people navigate their careers with just more clarity, more support, especially as first-gen individuals. I think all the current apps that exist when it comes to career are amazing, but you already have to know so much. You already have to know what your resume looks like. You already have to have created connections within there, like to really truly succeed in this job and like in this industry right now. You already have to know so much. And as first gen individuals, like you don't know what you don't know, and that's what we're recognizing with Empower, which is why within our app, one of the key features is a resources section. So you can actually go and download a resume that's specific to your industry, a cover letter specific to your industry, letter of intent if you're trying to go to grad school, portfolios, all of those things. All these really, really helpful resources and templates are ready for you to download under the resources section. And then you can go to the mentorship section and get matched to a mentor that can teach you about where you're hoping to go, while you teach somebody who's under you or is hoping to be where you are about, you know, what you're learning. And then on top of that, you can go to communities, and let's say that you are studying nursing and you're going to be in Chicago for the summer. You can click Chicago nurses and go and connect with people within that area and just get that human interaction and find out as much as you can and really truly be a sponge, and all in this one platform. And then of course there's the feed where you can post and you can like teach what you've learned or share your experiences, share opportunities if you're somebody that's hiring, or you know, you just happen to come across one. It's really just a feed. And then on top of that, you have the jobs section, which is finally that last step, which is where a lot of these other apps that currently exist are starting, is that job section. And there's nothing wrong with that. We actually absolutely love the LinkedIn's, Indeeds of the world, and we encourage everybody to use them. And we, in our platform, are actually going to integrate a way where you can, well, we already integrated a way where you can log in through LinkedIn and things like that. But our goal is to just really get that couple first steps before you finally have to apply to that job, because there's plenty of rules and, you know, things that you should be doing before you just submit a resume or submit an application. Before you mass apply, mass applying, you have to be strategic with it. So we at Empower recognize that, and that's kind of what we're hoping to build and what we are currently building and starting to test. So it's really exciting, and we're just really happy to be doing this. And it's been such a blessing to constantly work on this and really live, breathe, and, you know, see Empower and see what we're building, and building something that we also just used to pray about. And the crazy part is, Ladan and I talk about this all the time. We have a 10-year difference in our age, and the same struggles that she had 10 years prior is the same struggles that I had 10 years later. So there's just nobody's solving this issue, and we are finally just taking that first step forward and being like, let's solve this. Like, let's figure out a way where first gen individuals can actually have the resources that they need in order to have a successful career without bending backwards and literally spending a whole year of networking like I did and Ladan did. So we're really just trying to make that difference here with Empower, and I'm so excited for us to continue that growth, and I'm so excited for you guys to tune along and see what we build as well. But that brings me to the end of our episode here. I am so happy that we got to sit down and chat. This is kind of like a little coffee chat moment in it, except no coffee, but hopefully you have a cup or something, girl. Take it for the both of us. I have a crazy headache right now, actually. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support always. I hope that what we're putting out is helpful for you. I hope that you walk away with some sort of insight every time you come to our channel. That's really and truly our goal here. And we will see you every other Monday. Our next episode, we're actually gonna have a guest. It's so exciting. I love it. I'm so excited, and I'm so happy that we're doing this. So Love you guys. Stay blessed. Stay, in tune with yourself. Go take care of yourself. Take yourself on a nice little walk. Eat something that serves your body and helps you get energy, and go kill and go after all those goals that you have. Bye, guys.